Hello and welcome to Guider's Gun Guide. I'm your host, Ben Guider. Today, I get to shoot my Umarex Gauntlet 177 caliber. Really excited for this. It's going to be the first shots. All I've done to this so far is clean the barrel last night. Had to get in there with some J&B. I actually ended up pulling the barrel off. Used a J&B non-embedding bore compound. Really get it clean. And I have a lot of pellets inbound from PA, but the next order isn't due until today sometime. But that's okay. I have a nice assortment of Crosmans. So I got the 7.4 grain pointed. I've got the Crosman Destroyer 7.4 grain, Crosman Super Point 7.9 grain. I've got some Benjamin Hollow Points here, 7.9 grain. I've got some Crosman Copper Magnums, 10.65. And I even have some Gamo Silent Cat Domed 10.5 grains over here. Crosman Premier Wad Cutters, Crosman Competition Wad Cutters. What else? Match Grade Wad Cutters, 7.4 grain. I got the Crosman Piranhas, 10.5 grain. And Crosman Domed Ultra Magnum, 10.5 grain. These are also the Crosman Ultra Magnums, but this came in the big brown box, so I actually have these separate just because. But these are both 10.5 grains. These are the heaviest pellets I have out here right now. And then I've got, of course, the 7.9 grain Crosman Domes and Crosman Hollow Points in a 7.9. So small, 7.4 to, what is that, 10.6 grain is my heaviest thing I got out here if I shoot those Copper Magnums. I'm not planning on it. So today, all it is I've got paper, I got a gun, I got a lot of pellets, I got a full tank right there, filled her up last night to 3,000 psi. And this morning, I'd left it on my kitchen table. It got down a little bit chilly last night in the house, into the 60s. And the room where I pump my gun is a bit warmer because I've got that dehumidifier in there. So the gun itself and the tank and everything were a little bit warmer in there. So I'm hoping the 100, 200 psi loss that I saw overnight was just a result of the tank cooling, the air cooling, because I'd gone, I'd pumped that air in there coming from some warm air. When you pressurize air, it of course increases in temperature. So the air in that tank was warmer than ambient. Sitting overnight, tank cooling, the air inside cooling, that reduces pressure, right? So I hope that's all that was. 1 to 200 psi sounds, I think, about right on this tank. For a temperature decrease, pressure loss there. But I went ahead and topped it off this morning after I saw that. I found out something really cool about my GX hand pump. The pressure gauge on the hand pump is glow in the dark. Nice little touch. You can't really make anything out. I don't know how functional that necessarily is, but it's kind of fun, Anyway, I don't know if y'all noticed when I flip this around here, but you will see that I have a really nice, super expensive, that's sarcasm for any of y'all not catching it, Winchester air rifle scope, 2 to 7 by 32 with an adjustable objective. I'm up here around about, 20 yards, so I'll dial that in just a little under. I'll peek through it, take a look. I got this mounted last night. You go, Ben, why do you have a $300 air rifle and a $30, $40 scope on it? Something like that, I forget. The answer is actually quite simple. Dovetail mounts and tube diameters. My other scopes that I have are the cheap little, single, the 3x20s or whatever that come in your daisies, right? I wasn't putting that on here. And then of course I've got a Vortex 1 to 6, 1 to 4, 1 to 8, something like that on my AR. That's dialed in, so that's not coming off. Vortex Crossfire 2 rimfire that I had on my 1022, but that's 30 millimeter tube sitting on my sitting on the Vortex cantilever single mono mount, I guess, whatever you want to call that. And that's currently attached to the Pishtov. And then the last scope I've got is a UTG, variable powered, side wheel adjustable objective. 4 to 12 by 44, something like that. But it's a 30 millimeter tube as well. And all of those are on Picatinny mounts. Every ring I've got in this house, except for the one holding this gun and the cheap Daisy, Crosman, whatevers. They're all 30 millimeter rings, 30 millimeter tubes, 30 millimeter scopes. And this is my only, and I didn't realize it until recently, this is my only dovetail ringed OK scope. So that's why I'm using it. Now, something, of course, I don't care for is these come with quote-unquote see-through mounts here. And that's neat. You can't really see through them. They end up just being a high mount. I guess that's to get the front end bell probably above, you know, they assume you're putting this on one of the more budget-end air guns that usually have like a rear sight, and you want to put that just above the rear sight. It works well for that, by the way. But that also puts my scope a little higher off my what do you call it? My barrel center line, a little taller than I would care for, right? So realistically, these should probably have a medium to, probably like a medium height or a low height ring on them to mount this particular scope, you know, with that 32 millimeter objective really small. Now, if I had a larger objective scope, right, if I had, say, a 40 or a 44 or a 50, these rings are probably exactly perfect for that. But you know what? It's what I've got. And today isn't about, you know, I'm not going to shoot the eye out of Lincoln on a penny today, right? Today is I'm putting a whole lot of pellets that way. I want to break in this gun if it needs it. I want to break in the cocking mechanism. I've already felt that the trigger, I did discover that the gun does decock. I was incorrect on that in my unboxing video. And I got a chance to kind of feel that trigger, and it does feel a little bit on the gritty side. So I want the cocking is a little bit stiff, a little bit gritty, hard to do. I'm just hoping all that breaks in. BB Pelletier at the PA forum website did a review on this gun several years ago. He discovered indications in his chronograph results that the regulator may need a little breaking in to be consistent. He was getting some very odd dips, like down to 100, 200 FPS in his shot string, and he attributed that possibly to just the poppet valve or the regulator or whatever. The whole thing needing to break in. So my goal here is to let in the barrel, break in the action, smooth out that trigger, hopefully, if it's possible, and let the air system itself break in if it needs breaking in, right? So that's why I think I have enough pellets for that job, right? I'm going to be shooting over my chronograph here, and I'm going to have that all attached up to the phone, got my result, you know, I'll be getting those results and everything. So really the only data and the only thing I'm really going to display, unless this thing just right out of the box starts stacking pellets at 20 yards, I have no intention of showing you the target. Unless I want to brag, right? So I promise you, if this gun can do that with this scope and me shooting it, that's a testament to this gun, this air rifle, I promise you. So anyway, let's see. What else? So yeah, I'm just going to have a whole bunch of FPS data is what I intend to put on the back end of this video. Graphs, charts, spreadsheets, data nerd stuff. If you like it, great. You don't, that's okay too. we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll do an end on this. We'll see. Anyway, show up and shoot, Ben. Let's do this. So I'm 30 shots in. I had to stop. Wow. The trigger, it's about as long as a country mile, and that country mile is a gravel road. Thing is gritty. It is long. You know, you pause to start pulling your trigger. You pause your breathing and start pulling that trigger. And before you can get to the end of it, you got to take another breath. The cocking is hard. The loading, when I go to push the pellet in, I got to really push it in. It's like that pellet is sticking on something. And when it first happened, I was like, oh crap, this is going to start damaging pellets. These things are going to fly all over the place. It's going to be terrible, right? I told you I wasn't going to show you the target unless. So let me tell you, my very first shot out of this gun, 990. Unfortunately, it didn't get captured on my app here. But the last shot I just fired, 999, top shot, 1012. That is with 7.9 grain Crosman domed pellets. Okay? So the box said 1000 FPS with lead pellets. Yes. Fact. Confirmed. I've been shooting from the magazine, not using the single shot tray. Let's go take a look at this target. I'm happy. I'm excited. You know, the complaints I just gave y'all, with those complaints, I'm about to show you something. There's been some questions that I've been asked. Some of y'all have sat there and gone and asked me, valid questions, by the way, valid question. Ben, do you even know how to shoot? Right? Y'all saw what I did with that Pishtov, and y'all asked, you know what? Did you know what you were doing? Ben, do you even know how to shoot? Good question. All right, y'all saw some of those shots. You saw my shotgun blasts. I hope this helps to answer that question. Now, I'm still not a field target, bench rest shooter. I'm still not, you know, bullseye. But let's look at this, okay? We're going to talk through it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to flip the camera, and then we'll keep going. Okay. First shot out of my gun, right there. Okay? Sight adjustment. Oh, by the way, point aim was here. Sight adjustment. Finally got tired of sight adjustments up here. Okay? This guy, that was me turning my clicks the wrong direction with my point aim here, okay, from here. So I brought it back over. This here, that's 3 shots right up in there. It looks like there's about, I don't know, 3 or 4 in here, okay? 10 shots here. 10 shots there. And I even did a sight adjustment in that. So that's the tip of my finger. These are, I don't have a good scale or anything. I guess I should go grab my micrometer. You know what? I'll do it later. This is 30 shots in, and this is what I'm doing at 20 yards with this gun. Yeah, I'm happy. Super happy. I'm getting the velocity advertised. I'm getting plenty of accuracy. You know what? Let's flip this around. Plenty of accuracy. Very happy with that. You know, I've always wanted a gun. I've never really owned a air rifle that I could shoot and say, you know what? It's me, not the gun. Or it's the gun, not me. Right? I've always erred on the I need to get better. All right? I've always assumed it was me, not the gun. So with a $30, $40 scope and a retail $300 air rifle that I've paid, you know, 184 at 20 yards. I'm happy. I'm exceedingly happy. I didn't even have to lead this in. The velocities, I'm trying to think. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to look at that data. But extreme spreads and all that other stuff are great. You're going to see that here in a minute at the end once I shut up. And I'm not telling anybody right now anything that they didn't already know about an Umarex Gauntlet. There have been gigabytes of data, of videos and reviews on this gun, right? It's nothing new. Y'all are just seeing my hot take, okay? So anyway, it is a gorgeous day. I've been out here maybe 30 minutes, an hour, not even sure it's been that long. And I still have a ton of pellets to shoot. I'm going to shoot them. I'm going to have a blast with this. I've put 30 rounds of 7.9 domed through. I'm going to play around with the lighter ones, see if I can do anything better with the velocity. I'm going to try the heavier ones, right? And see just, 10.5 grains. I'm going to see what type of energies we're producing at that, right? So, yeah, I've said a couple of times, I'm happy. The only complaints I have about this gun, it's the trigger. I haven't had it apart. It's adjustable. That grittiness, it feels like it might be the spring almost. I don't even know if it's the sear. But here's the thing. Doesn't matter. I'm going to tear this guy apart. I'm going to polish engagement points, whatever need polishing. I'm going to throw some lube in there. Real light. I'm going to see what I can do about if I can polish the cocking bolt. See if that'll help at all with what I'm feeling there. And oh my goodness. I am so excited for this gun. I'm sorry. The other thing, here's my other complaint. Fit and finish. Okay. I have not been able to get this to really sit together, but let me tell you something I do like. Okay, as heavy as this gun is, the narrowed spot right here, right up against the trigger guard, this right here, right about here, is the balance point for this gun. And I've held this thing up offhand. It is pretty stable. It fits nice, feels nice, fits in the hand nice. That little narrowed area feels good in the hands. I think I'll actually be able to shoot this pretty good offhand even. So I'm really excited. I'm going to test that out. I'm going to have a blast. This is just, you know what? I'm just going to have some fun. So, which is what this is all about at the end of the day, right? Like we do this for fun. Oh, the noise level. Let me tell you about this noise level. What noise level? Honestly, I think if I'd have shot this before making my Hajimoto purchase, I may not have made the Hajimoto purchase. This gun is exceedingly quiet already. Backyard friendly, no question about it. I had my brother on the phone, and I said, "Hey, can you hear the gun?" He's like, "Not really. It's really quiet. Like I hear it, it's there, right, coming through the mic and everything, but it's nothing." So I couldn't. This is what I envisioned for my first PCP experience. Okay, from what I'd seen online about PCPs and everything else, this is what I was expecting. This is what I was hoping for, and I'm getting it. I'm so excited. 30 rounds, 30 shots gets me from 3,000 psi to 20. Looks like that's 2,400. So I've burned about 600 psi here. I've got about 1,000, a little over 1,000 more to go. So that's the other thing I want to see is, actually, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish out this tank with these pellets. I'm not going to change anything. And I want to see the full shot string of the full tank. I'll make sure I post that as well. So anyway, shut up and shoot. Here we go. All right, 20 shots later. I'm sorry, I've got to come look at this. I'm bringing you with me. I have a really good group. It was going really, really well. And it almost looks like I had a point of impact shift. Maybe. But then again, I'm going to say it's probably me. Yeah, let's take a look. All right. There's the next 10 shots that I did. And if you remember, that lower left, upper right, those were from sighting in. That's not them. So, unfortunately, I got to claim that guy right there, and then 9 shots there. That's not the one I want to show you. That's a mag. That is 10 shots right there. So they were all going right up in this upper area right in here. I was just putting them in there, hole. And then I had a few. I was like, okay, that's one flyer. Maybe it's because my aim point got shot away. I don't know. Anyway, you know, I can make some excuses here if you'd like. Sun was in my eye. Venus was in its 3rd trimester. I don't know. Anyway, even still, here's my handy dandy micrometer. It's zeroed out, as you can see. Millimeters. Let's take a look. Outside to outside. What is that? 14.8 millimeters. Edge to edge. Let me see if I got that. Might not. Call it 15. What's that in imperial measurements, right? That is, looks like edge to edge, 0.56 of an inch. So just over half an inch edge to edge. Center to center, under half an inch. All right. And yeah. And that's with me screwing that one up. Pretty sure that was me. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to keep playing with it. You know, that group there, edge to edge. Yeah. So 0.4 edge to edge. What's that? Yeah, just under half an inch on that guy. 0.443, I guess, at the widest point. So yeah, less than half an inch at 20 yards. Seems to be what I'm doing with this gun so far. And y'all didn't hear me make my grunting old man noises, did you? I held it in. That's with me using, you know, what people consider cheap budget pellets, right? 7.9 grain domed Crosman Premier pellets. Okay, these aren't terribly expensive, and that's what I'm doing with that. Again, not a terribly expensive scope, not a terribly expensive setup. What do y'all want me to say? I'm happy. Velocities. I am down to, yep. We're down to 2,000 FPS on the PSI on the reg, and I'm 50 shots in. Last shot there was 1,000 plus, 1,022 maybe. So I've got to say, claim confirmed, 1,000 FPS with the lead pellets consistently. What was that other claim? I'm gonna have to go find the box, right? It said, was it 70 consistent shots? I'm at 50 now. I've got almost 1,000. So, interesting thing, on the box, it said the reg pressure was like 1150. And I don't know if you can see in here. Let me see if you can. If you see on the reg here, it says 1100. So, I don't know. Believe the reg, believe the box. But I've got another 900 PSI to play with here. and I'm supposed to have, I think it said 70 plus consistent shots. I got to get 20 shots out of 900 FPS or a PSI. I keep saying that, don't I? I got to get 900 PSI, 20 shots to meet the box. I love a manufacturer that gives me accurate information, right? I've confirmed the velocity, solid, agreed, confirmed. Now we got to see if we get the shots. I don't think 200 shot or 20 shots is going to be hard. I honestly think I'm going to be seeing out of that. Based on how this is going, what is that? I should see 80 shots, 90 maybe on a fill. How am I going to be mad at this, right? It's a 177. There's been a little hate out there from one of my viewers that 177 is, I forget what word he used, silliness. But I'm happy with this. This is backyard plinking fun, right? Quiet, accurate, 20 yards. I got no complaints, guys. Zero. Again, y'all that know the Gauntlet, seen all the videos out there, nobody's surprised by that, right? If I was the one guy who was like, oh, I hate my Gauntlet, right? Y'all know I was crazy. But I'm happy. So anyway, I'm going to keep shooting this. I'm going to see if I see when I fall off reg, see if it hits around that 900 PSI or 1100 PSI, and how many shots I got. So load up, keep going. All right, so there we are. My first full tank is done. I'm sitting at, I'd call that 1,000, right at 1,000, 1,100. It's right in between, pretty close, right in there. But I'm off the reg here. Total, let's see, that last shot was 946. And I was getting I've been getting a number of errors. The number of shots on my shot string are not going to match the number of shots I've taken. I'm going to clear out all the errors and some, yeah, I'm going to clear off all the errors and things like that. And I don't know, I'll have to look through the data to see what other aberrations exist in it. But I got 100 and... see, 3, 6, 9, 110 shots. I just took 110 shots on a single fill. Consistent shots. I mean, even my last mag was still holding good accuracy. I mean, 946 velocity right there at the very end. Accuracy was still acceptable. In fact, I'm going to show you the target. Forgot my micrometer. The target, that's my neighbor. Hi, neighbor. The last mag, I was really just kind of trying to get to the end of the velocity. So there's my caveat for why it's not quite as tight as maybe the others. And you're going to see a flyer. But let's see here. Yeah. Okay. So switching to the rear camera now. All right, there we go. So as you recall, first shot out the gun, adjustment, 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 adjustment. First mag total, give or take, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 right here. Second mag, third mag, fourth mag. Remember, that's a first mag zeroing shot. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth mag, including this one flyer here. Number 6. Let's get in on that nice and straight. Number 6. There's number 7. Yeah, you see a couple of flyers. And then number 8. Number 9. 10. And then 11. So part of this, My scope, I put a shot here as an aim point, and then my scope completely, the thickness of my crosshair actually completely covered it. So some of this is, me trying to find center point. Not a great aim point, but, you look at it compared to these guys, it's pretty close, pretty similar. Yeah, you got the flyer. But, let's see. Make sure we're zeroed. And let's see, what do we got here? Edge to edge, 0.39. Not bad. What about that tall? Let's see what that tall flyer does to it. 0.51 edge to edge. And that's ripped paper, right? That's not center point to center point. Let's see, what am I doing here? .54 edge to edge. You'll probably bring that in just a smidge. 0.48, 0.5, 0.48 right in there. And then we've got, this one's going to be a bit on the wider side, it looks like. 0.68 edge to edge. And then this guy with his flyer, 0.69 without the flyer. We're at 4.5, give or take, right in there. 4.9, depending on how I measure that. So I've been talking and not recording. So back at the table, really happy with the velocities. 110 shots. I would say very consistent. 1,000, whatever. Hello, plane. 1,000 feet per second down to 940 something feet per second across 100. On reg, it's better, right? It's 980, 970 on the reg, and we'll see that in the chart. I'll have to clear out all my errors and other things where it didn't read the shots, but there's 110. We just counted the shots on the paper. I don't know how many actual shots got captured on the chronograph. But yeah, I am not complaining, not in the least, about this gun. Well, okay, that's a lie. Y'all have heard me complain, right? But I think that trigger and the cocking, the cocking's already, I'm getting more used to it or it's smoothing out. The trigger, I'm starting to figure out, how, I figured out where the, 3/4 mile distance on the trigger is, leaving me that last little 1/4 mile to pull. So, as I get on target, I just go ahead and take up all that slack. Started to learn that trigger, getting a little better with it. Yeah. What do you want me to say? It's a gauntlet, right? Which to a lot of y'all, that's no surprise. So anyway, I'm going to keep shooting. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, as if any one of my videos needs more talking, here we go. So I have now pulled up all the data, filtered out all the errors, charted it, put it on some line graphs, all that sort of deal. And now I can actually see what's going on. I was having too much fun shooting and paying attention to the groupings to pay attention to every single one of my velocities. So, as you'll see here, the first shot string is the Crosman Premier Dome 7.9 grain pellets. Looks like I had 81 captured shots. You can go ahead and toss on the very first 990 on the front end there. So 82 total shots got captured of the 110 that I took with that full fill. And what you have there around shot, somewhere around shot 78, 79, 80, 81, somewhere in there. Those are actually some of the final shots on the fill. So those are actually off reg at that point. But you'll see that we've got some very interesting data. We got a spike followed by a significant drop and a dip. But overall, fairly fairly consistent, right? Now I could have zoomed way, I could have adjusted the chart to where you didn't see all this variation, and it would have made it look a little flatter, right? I was kind of toying with the idea of how to make the charts look. Um, I like to zoom in on my data. I like to see it really close. And that's what the numbers are for, right? So a standard deviation on this in the very first 100 shots was 17.16. Max velocity seen for the day was 1,020 feet per second, and the extreme spread was actually 83 on this first string. It's what it is, but I was happy with the accuracy results. As this breaks in, I have a feeling this is going to start to look a lot better. The next series of charts, I'm not going to talk through every single one of them, but I've got data for how the 10.5 grain Crosman dome did. Got data for the pointed 7.4s, the destroyer 7.4 grain, the premier hollow point 7.9 grain, and the final chart you'll see is the final shooting of the day. All the ones I just named there were on the second tank. And shot in order as they're listed. And so my final shooting for the day, though, was I went back to the 7.9s because they shot really well. And I did a little plinking. I shot a stick in half. I shot the bottom of an old hairspray can. I did. I tried to go through and hit all 12 of my bullseyes. I did pretty good with that. I didn't get them all perfect. But here's the velocity data on the back end. Final chart again. Now we're at a standard deviation of 7.44. Now, of course, you can see there's only 28 shots here listed. But this again, we had a lot of errors popping off at this time. So there was more shots interspersed throughout all of this. Let's see, extreme spread of 30 with an average of 968 feet per second. But after the early day on the first tank I had two shots over 1,000. Nope. Actually, I had several shots over 1,000 feet per second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like 8 shots over 1,000 feet per second. Probably a few more that didn't register on the chrono. But by the time I got to the last series of the day, no more 1,000 feet per second shots. So that could be because it was late in the tank. Could be I wasn't letting the reg fill. Could be everything settled in, and that's really the type of velocity I should expect. I'm happy with that either way. I don't consider that false marketing. I'm getting 985 at that point. I'm 15 short of the marketed 1,000 feet per second. We're okay with that. So anyway, I just want to talk through it really quick. I'm going through doing the video edits and everything, putting all this data charts together, and it'll be here. So I hope you've enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it, as much as I've enjoyed shooting this gun. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.